DQ $5 lunch. I'm really into it. One thing I can't decide. Is it chicken strips, fries, and a drink with a free sundae, or do you get a sundae with free chicken strips, fries, and a drink? Trick question. Both answers are correct.
Exactly, Sam. It's Fananomics. Entree, fries, drink, plus a sundae. The $5 lunch, only at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
This is the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast.
And coming up from the weather department, another look at some unsettled conditions taking us through the weekend, but still not a total washout.
I'm Roger Adelson. Stay tuned for more in the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News. Your #1 source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories for this week was about a county board going to the Grant County Commissioner's office to voice concerns over property tax values. Reporter Cameron Probert has that story.
A disagreement about $40,000 has a county board at odds with the Grant County Assessor's Office. Members of the County Board of Equalization met with the Grant County Commissioners Monday, the same day that the county received notice that the assessor appealed 3 of the board's decisions to the state. The board members were upset about recent comments made by Assessor Lori Grammer concerning their decisions on the value of properties in the Schwana area. Chairwoman Helen Fancher explained that the board has lowered the value of a set of properties in the area 3 years in a row.
That's been very frustrating to the Board of Equalization. And I think the comment that was made by the assessor that's printed in the paper is, why would I lower the assessed value when I don't agree with the decision to lower it? She sticks with the appraised value that her office comes up with unless there is a factual reason to lower it. Well, we certainly saw the factual reasons to lower it.
She pointed out the area hasn't changed much since the railroad stopped coming through. Property in the area doesn't sell and isn't irrigated, board members said. The meeting coincided with the county receiving notice that the assessor was appealing the board's decision on 3 properties to the State Board of Tax Appeals. The board cut the value of the properties located in the Schwana and Smyrna areas in half for a total of about $40,000. The assessor was not available to answer questions about the appeal on Monday. The appeals forms state that the property owners didn't provide enough evidence to prove the value should be lowered. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
Thanks, Cameron. A couple made changes at home to grow their own food in Soap Lake. Here's Jeff Chu with that story.
Soap Lake's Jennifer Peterson believes that everyone has the right to survive. She, her husband Frank, and their 5 children do just that at their Soap Lake home. The Petersons tore up their lawn and planted garden plots to grow vegetables and fruits around the house. They can the food they grow to last over the winter months. Peterson organized the nonprofit group Soap Lake Urban Homesteads and founded the Soap Lake Community Garden on land donated by McKay Healthcare Nursing Home.
And then I decided I wanted a community garden to help people learn how to grow and can and preserve their own food. And I learned that I needed a kind of like a nonprofit thing to be able to get grants and stuff to help with it.
Passionate about what her family does, Peterson in 2012 received permission from the city of Soap Lake to raise 4 chickens at a time in her backyard. Peterson, who homeschools her children, said establishing urban homesteads and the community garden has all been a huge learning process.
We are from Seattle, and we were a little surprised to learn that here in Soap Lake you couldn't have chickens or bees or nothing.
Peterson described Soap Lake urban homesteads.
It's a nonprofit organization that's supporting the community and the urban food movement.
She said part of Urban Homestead's effort is to donate excess produce to the food bank.
We've had to go to the food bank before, you know, and when we lived in Moses before we moved here, and so, I mean, I just wanted a better way. I didn't want to have to rely on anybody else to provide for my family, nor did my husband. We wanted to provide for our family.
Peterson, who said she needs volunteers for the community garden, can be contacted at 509-312-9826. I'm Jeff Chu for iFIBER 1 News.
Thanks, Jeff.
Each of the people you see here has warrants for their arrest and is wanted by various law enforcement agencies. If you see any of these people, the Department of Corrections asks that you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but to call police. You can also call the Department of Corrections at 509-764-6180 during the day or 509-762-1160 after 5 p.m.
We'll be right back after this.